Hello everyone, welcome to this EC Aquatics video. So this right over here is my fishbowl, and I've had this set up with some peace lilies growing out of the top of it for about a little over a year now. And as you can probably tell, it is completely overgrown with duckweed, and I think it's time for a change. So in this video, I'm going to be rescaping this to make it even better of a tank. Right now, all it's got in it is a couple of shrimp and 2 Endler guppies. And the bowl itself I bought from Michael's a couple of years ago. It's about 4.5 gallons or so, 4.5 gallons. I'll leave a link to the actual bowl kind of down in the description somewhere if you want to check it out. It's great. It's like 20 bucks for a 4-gallon bowl. It's fantastic. Definitely big enough to hold fish. But first things first is I have to dismantle this current scape, get the water, plants, wood, all that stuff out, and clean the bowl to try and get rid of all that duckweed, so that I can kind of start from scratch. So now that I've gotten almost all the water out, and I've gotten all the inhabitants out, and all the plants and hardscape out, I'm gonna just take this bowl and clean it out completely, try and get all the duckweed out, really wash the sand out. I'm not gonna film that because it's boring. Who wants to see me playing with a hose and cleaning a bowl out for 5 minutes or whatever it takes. But I'm gonna do that, and then the bowl will be ready to be rescaped. So the bowl is now all clean. Got all the duckweed out, which is great because I don't want duckweed in this new scape. And I've decided to leave the substrate system in place because it was working great. I'm gonna reinforce it with some root tabs, but all it's got is some sand on the top and then a bag of aqua soil on the bottom. And then I'm gonna throw you back to the last time I set this up when I actually added the substrate so you guys can see how that is done. All right, and for our nutrient layer, we're gonna be using this bag that I have filled with aqua soil. It's a plastic mesh bag with a plastic zipper and everything like that, so it won't rust. And the holes in this mesh bag are big enough for roots to grow through, while also ensuring that the aqua soil doesn't mix with the decorative sand, and that it's a lot easier to reuse said decorative sand after each scape is over and ready to be taken down. Bag's filled just about halfway, so as you can see, it's about 1/2 inch to 1 inch or so full of aqua soil. So, and then over this, we're going to put our decorative sand layer, and this way we'll be able to plant into the decorative layer, and the plants will be able to send their roots down and find the nutrients down in this aqua soil. For our decorative sand layer, we're going to be using this lighter colored sand. I don't remember exactly what it's called. So, and now I am going to start adding in our hardscape. And I want to do a blackwater setup on this tank because I really like the way blackwater setups look. So I have collected just a ton of sticks from the woods behind my house, and I have since cleaned them and got them safe for use in an aquarium. If you want to see how to do that, I made a video about that a couple of years ago. I will pop it up right over here somewhere. If you're interested to see that, check that out. If you want to do something like this for yourself with wood that you've collected as well, check that out. But I'm just going to take all these sticks and start playing around with them as if it's like roots of a tree that's kind of coming into a riverbank. So that's kind of what the idea is that I'm going for. I'm just going to take a bunch of these. Obviously, I'm not using all of this wood, but just going to take all these sticks and start playing around with them to see exactly how to try and get some semblance of a nice layout. Alrighty, so I've kind of finally got a scape that I like. Took several times of rearranging stuff. I don't know how much of that you'll actually see because the time lapse went on for, I think it was a good half hour that I spent rearranging these sticks in all kinds of different ways, trying to get something I liked, and I finally got kind of just all the sticks kind of placed in one area and then flowing in all different directions as if they're like roots from a tree. I really like the way this looks, and I think the fish will actually really enjoy this as well because they'll be able to dart in and out of all these little branches and brambles, and it'll look really, really cool. So now I'm going to add in the plants that I'm going to be using. It's not going to be a lot. This is mostly a hardscape tank, as most blackwater tanks are, but I want a few little sprigs of some dwarf sage in here, so that's what I'm going to add in, just dotted about. So I think it'll actually look really, really good. And then after that, I will fill the tank up. So yeah, as I said, I'm going to be using some dwarf sage, just kind of dotted about. This stuff has been growing in my tanks for ages now. I've just taken some trimmings of it, and then I'm going to just toss in a couple of sprigs. It's not going to be a lot, but it will be enough to get some greenery in there, and I think add a lot to the tank. Alrighty, so that is all the planting done. As you can see, just a couple of sprigs here and there. Really didn't want to go overboard with the planting. Really not in the best interest of the tank, I don't think, because most blackwater scapes, just like this one, are all about the hardscape. Plants are just kind of an accent. Obviously the dwarf sage is going to carpet for a bit, carpet a bit, spread out, look really nice, but it'll only be as an addition to the wood, and it's not going to take away from that woodscape. That is the focal point of the tank. So now I'm going to fill the tank up and pray that nothing floats up, especially all that wood. I boiled it, but it has been sitting out for 2 days or so since I boiled it, so I am crossing my fingers that nothing floats up, and if it does, well, that's really not going to be good. And it's all floated. Great. Yeah, wonderful. That whole scape that took me forever has now floated up. So, I guess what's left for me to do is I'm just going to leave this for a couple of days. The wood is going to absorb some of this water, soak in, and then hopefully settle down, and then I can kind of readjust it in a couple of days. So I will come back then and show you, what happens when it has settled. Okay, so the wood has now settled. It's been a couple of days. Wood finally got waterlogged, and I was able to get it back mostly into the same position as I had it initially. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit different, but very similar design. So as you can see, everything is, kind of in the same place. I added the fish back in when the wood floated. It was just a couple of them, and they're fine. But this looks really great. And now I'm going to add in our last little element to really turn this into a blackwater tank. And that last thing is leaf litter. Any blackwater tank, or no blackwater tank, is complete without leaf litter. And I've got a bunch of leaves that I've collected from my yard and from the woods behind my house. I have a full video explaining how to prepare these leaves and make sure that they're safe. If you want to check that out, I'll pop up a card up to it. But these leaves I have boiled. And now I'm going to add them all over the bottom of the tank. And these guys are going to leach tannins and make the water browner and look, like a black water tank. And them covering the substrate, I think, looks really, really good in a black water tank. Now, one more thing that I'm going to add is a handful of these red root floaters, just right on top of as floating plants right on top here. They're going to be great at just pulling a whole bunch of nutrients out of the water column, and they'll help diffuse the light, which in blackwater tanks, diffused light scape, lower light scape, I think looks much better. They'll ensure that there's not nearly enough nutrients for algae to get in, because they're pulling all the nutrients out, and they're limiting light exposure, which means algae can't grow as much. But there'll still be enough light coming through so that the dwarf sage is able to survive. The dwarf sage is perfectly fine to be growing in a low light scenario. So now that the leaves have all settled in, you can see the tank is looking quite good, but it's still a little bit too light for my taste. And to rectify that, I've got some rooibos tea here with me, and I'm going to use this to make my own, tannins, pretty much. Because because the wood and leaves don't seem to be want to leach enough tannins to make the water really nice and brown. When you're doing this, make sure that you're using only pure rooibos tea. If there's any other like additives in there, it will be deadly to your tank. But if you use just pure rooibos, like this is from Twinnings. This one is good for fish. It doesn't harm them in any way, shape, or form. So I've got a bit of the tea here. You know, obviously let it cool after brewing it, and now I'm gonna add this in. There we go. Made the tank already just a ton darker and looks a lot better in my opinion. Wow, yeah, that looks so much better. So much more black water, all the tannins in there, fake tannins obviously, but yeah, that looks fantastic. And you know, you can continue brewing it as you do water changes on your tank, and as the tannins go away, just add more tea as time goes on to keep this level of darkness. So now this tank really looks like a blackwater tank. It's got all the tannins and stuff like that. Now it doesn't just look like a tank with a bunch of wood and leaf litter in it. So I'm going to leave it with just these couple of fish in here right now. I will be adding more fish, and I've got a plan for some really cool fish to go in here. So if you're interested in that, seeing that video, when that comes out, then hit the subscribe button, turn on that notification bell so you don't miss out when that video comes out. It's gonna be, those fish are gonna be really cool. I'm really excited for them. And I think that's all I've got for you today. So hopefully you all enjoyed. If you did, then be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons, and I will see you all in the next one.